Hello everyone, my name is Alana. Welcome to my channel. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like. According to a recent disclosure, CBS might not be murdering George on young Sheldon. The Cooper patriarch was unable to make an in-person appearance on The Big Bang Theory because he was already deceased before the show began. Young Sheldon claims that George's death at the age of 14 predetermined the character's destiny. Though the family comedy hasn't overtly set the stage for it yet, George's death is looming as the prequel advances along the predetermined chronology. However, a recent behind-the-scenes disclosure regarding The Big Bang Theory suggests that young Sheldon could not be killing George after all. Executive producer and writer Steve Molero acknowledges regretting a pivotal Big Bang Theory plot point due to young Sheldon. Sheldon's confession about witnessing George having an affair, which is a prelude to his death, as disclosed in Jessica Radloff's book, The Big Bang Theory Oral History. Since Molero co-created young Sheldon and is still its showrunner, he retains creative control over the program. If he feels bad about The Big Bang Theory's George revelation, he might be more likely to stray from it on the prequel. Given the connections between the catastrophes, ignoring George's cheating scandal could also mean ignoring his death. Because of Sheldon and Mary's stories, George was well known before making his young Sheldon debut, even though the most of them were disparaging. The spin-off, however, had to make certain artistic choices because portraying the character as being like George from The Big Bang Theory would make the prequel gloomy and depressing. Since the Cooper patriarch already plays a major role in the plot of the show, his passing will have a great effect on the dynamic of the whole thing. After George's passing, young Sheldon simply cannot continue in its existing structure, but altering its storytelling style has dangers because it would alienate its devoted audience. Regretfully, it appears CBS has no option but to proceed with George's death. For decades, this Cooper tragedy has been skirted by the Big Bang Theory spin-off, which is aware that it will drastically alter the program. But as Sheldon and Missy get older and the prequel advances along the predetermined timeline, young Sheldon is unable to ignore or even postpone George's passing. His passing changed the course of the family's existence. Georgie was compelled to care for his mother and sister during Missy's period of disobedience, and Mary was so distraught that she might have returned to church. Therefore, young Sheldon appears to have little alternative but to continue with both narratives, even if Molero freely acknowledges his regret for George's cheating storyline, which precedes his death. They play a crucial role in the Coopers' shared past as well as Sheldon's individual journey. Otherwise, the TV series' established continuity would be completely destroyed, and the prequel spin-off would introduce its largest storyline discrepancy with The Big Bang Theory. If you're a fan of young Sheldon, you're probably aware that the show has been subtly building toward a major storyline: the eventual death of George Cooper Sr., the beloved father of Sheldon and Missy. With The Big Bang Theory giving us a glimpse of Sheldon's future, we already know that George's life ends tragically at a relatively young age. But recent developments on young Sheldon have left fans wondering if the show might actually change course and spare George's life. And CBS may have just dropped a massive hint that could mean everything we've come to expect is about to be turned upside down. Is it possible that young Sheldon won't go down the heartbreaking path that seems inevitable? Could there be a plot twist on the horizon that changes everything we thought we knew about Sheldon's family dynamics? Get ready for some jaw-dropping theories, hidden clues, and speculation that will have you questioning everything you thought was true about the show's future. For years, The Big Bang Theory has given fans a glimpse into Sheldon's future, and one of the most heartbreaking revelations was Sheldon's emotional admission that his father, George, died when Sheldon was just 14 years old. In fact, George's untimely death was referenced multiple times throughout The Big Bang Theory, with Sheldon often mentioning how his father passed away from a heart attack while cheating on Mary. Young Sheldon is set in the past. We've all been expecting this tragic storyline to play out. And as the series progresses, there's been an increasing sense that the show is slowly building toward George's death. In fact, Season 6 of Young Sheldon dropped several breadcrumbs that seemed to suggest that George's demise was just around the corner. Fans were bracing themselves for an emotional gut punch, wondering how young Sheldon would handle this pivotal moment in the show's timeline. But then, out of nowhere, CBS just hinted that young Sheldon might not follow the trajectory we've all been anticipating. Could George's death be averted? The possibility is enough to send fans into a frenzy. In an unexpected turn of events, a recent promotional interview with the show's producers dropped a bombshell. Young Sheldon may not be following the trajectory we thought it would. While the showrunners haven't explicitly stated whether or not George will die, they hinted that the show could change certain aspects of the timeline from The Big Bang Theory. And here's where it gets interesting. CBS may be subtly rewriting the rules. A key moment in the interview was when the producers teased that the characters in Young Sheldon will continue to grow and evolve, but they may not necessarily follow the events depicted in The Big Bang Theory to a T. This leaves the door wide open for the show to take some creative liberties. While Sheldon's future has already been established, young Sheldon doesn't necessarily need to be beholden to that future. The most interesting part of the interview, the producer suggested that fans should expect the unexpected. That statement alone has raised eyebrows, especially when you consider how much The Big Bang Theory leaned into George's death as a central part of Sheldon's emotional growth. Could this mean that George's death may not come as soon as we all thought? Or, even more mind-blowing, could it mean that George survives and stays alive for a longer period than we expected? So why would the showrunners want to change the fate of George Cooper? After all, his death is a key part of Sheldon's backstory. But there are several reasons why CBS might be considering a shift in direction. One of the reasons George's death was such a significant part of The Big Bang Theory was the emotional toll it took on Sheldon. Sheldon often referenced how he struggled with the loss of his father and how it shaped his personality. However, young Sheldon has been careful to show that Sheldon's relationship with George was complicated, but it wasn't all bad. George had moments of warmth, care, and support for his son, and seeing him die at such a young age had a profound impact on Sheldon. But what if there's another way to explore Sheldon's emotional journey without having to lean so heavily on the tragedy of George's death? Keeping George alive could allow young Sheldon to show a different, perhaps more gradual evolution in Sheldon's character, one that doesn't revolve around trauma. The show could still explore the complexities of Sheldon's relationship with his father, but without the looming sense of loss. George Cooper is more than just a plot device for Sheldon's emotional development. He's also an integral part of the Cooper family dynamic. As fans of young Sheldon know, George has always been the relatable working-class dad who tries his best to support his family despite his imperfections. His relationship with Mary is often at the center of the show, and his role as a father to Sheldon and Missy is both loving and, at times, frustratingly difficult. Keeping George alive would give the show more room to explore his relationship with his children and his wife. What if the show delved deeper into George's perspective, showing how he juggles the responsibilities of fatherhood while trying to be a good husband? It could add more layers to his character, giving fans a more well-grounded understanding of who George truly is. Young Sheldon is at its best when it focuses on the Cooper family's dynamics. Whether it's Sheldon and Missy's sibling rivalry, Mary's attempts to keep everything together, or George trying to balance his work and family life, the show excels at exploring the ups and downs of family relationships. Keeping George alive would give the show more opportunities to showcase those heartwarming family moments. We could see more instances of George offering advice, helping Sheldon navigate his challenges, or even sharing laughs with Missy. It could provide a more nuanced portrayal of a father who may not always get things right, but who is always there for his family when they need him most. No secret that fans of young Sheldon have fallen in love with the Cooper family. The show has made viewers laugh, cry, and root for these characters week after week. George's death, while inevitable in the larger timeline, is a heart-wrenching moment that many fans are hoping to avoid or delay. By keeping George alive, CBS could offer fans a more optimistic vision of the Cooper family's future. Rather than focusing on the inevitability of George's death, the show could explore the possibility of growth, healing, and the resolution of unresolved issues between George, Mary, Sheldon, and Missy. It's a chance to offer a more uplifting take on the Cooper family, one that gives fans the happy moments they deserve. While it's still unclear whether or not George will die in young Sheldon, CBS's recent hints at a shift in the timeline have opened up a world of possibilities. The producers have made it clear that the show doesn't have to strictly adhere to the events of The Big Bang Theory, which means there could be changes to the established timeline. This opens the door for a version of the Cooper family where George survives longer, creating a more emotionally complex storyline and allowing for greater family moments that we haven't seen before. For now, fans will have to wait and see how the show decides to handle George's fate. But one thing is certain, CBS's recent hints have given us hope that we might not have to say goodbye to George just yet. Whether George lives longer, or whether young Sheldon takes the show in a completely new direction, it looks like we're in for an exciting and unpredictable ride ahead. In conclusion, the possibility that young Sheldon might not follow through with George Cooper's death has fans buzzing with excitement and curiosity. While there's still much we don't know, CBS's recent hints suggest that the show could take a more unexpected and heartwarming path than we imagined. If George stays alive longer than expected, it could completely change the trajectory of the show, giving us more time with this beloved character and offering new insights into Sheldon's emotional growth. Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure. Young Sheldon is far from predictable, and the future of the Cooper family is looking more uncertain and more thrilling than ever before. Stay tuned because the best and most surprising is yet to come. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay with us.